Automation for Beginners, episode 1. Today we're going to look at hooking up Calendly and a CRM. In today's example, we're going to use Pipedrive. Let's get straight into it. All right, I'm going to sign up for everything other than Calendly. So basically right now, I'm just going to sign into Zapier. And I'm just going to use my regular email. Brings me to billing. All right, so here we are. So the first step in hooking up Calendly to your CRM, the example we're going to use is obviously Pipedrive, is the trigger step. So the trigger step, I always like to actually create these apps from scratch. I'm old school. However, it's just how I learned. So the trigger step in this is going to be Calendly. So we're going to grab Calendly. We're going to say when an invitee was created, right? So the example we want is when someone books a call, we're going to add them into a CRM. In this case, it's going to be Pipedrive. So invitee created, we're going to hit continue, and we're going to sign into Calendly. So Calendly is going to ask you for an API key. Quite easily, you come into Calendly, you come up to integrations. And at the very top here is your API key. All right, you're going to find that screen again. You're going to paste that in here and hit continue. And then it should show, obviously, my email, continue, and we're going to test it and see if anything comes up. All right, so it looks like we do have a booking. Perfect, it was with an M or Emily. All right, now that we have our trigger step hooked up and ready to go, that's probably the easiest part of this entire endeavor. The next thing we want to do is actually hook up Pipedrive or the CRM, depending on what you want to do. So every CRM is different. However, Pipedrive, there's a couple different ways you can do things. You can add them in as a person. You can create a lead. You can create a deal. My terminology is always to create a lead, especially when it's coming from a appointment, right? So you don't actually technically have a deal yet. So this is the kind of example I'm going to do. I'm going to continue, and it's going to ask me to sign into Pipedrive. I don't have a Pipedrive, so I'm just going to go to pipedrive.com. We're going to hit enter. We're going to try it for free. I'm going to sign in with Google. I'm going to go with my email again. All right, so it's going to ask me for some stuff. Do I have to do this, I wonder? Okay, it's going to make me do this. I'll probably blur out my phone number so I don't get a bunch of spam. What is your current role? Does it make me do this too? It does. Okay, so I'm going to just be like the CEO, and I haven't used Sales Tool before. I'm going to close deals faster, and I'm going to hit next. Best business is my name. How big is your company? Let's just call it solo. I'm in the tech startup industry, and only one person is going to use it. Let's start using it. All right, let's see what it's asking for. So if we go back to Pipedrive and we hit sign in, what is it going to ask us to do? So let's just take a look. Oh, look at that. It's already pulled up best business. We're already signed in. So let's just hit allow and install. Okay. All right, we're going to hit close. So this is obviously what they give you right off the get-go. If I come into leads, there's nothing in here. Absolutely, take your leads to the next level. Cool. All right, so let's take a look. So we're going to go back to Zapier. We're going to hit continue. All right, in the title. So lead must be associated to at least one person. Let's take a look. It's probably going to be me. All right. Let's do this. So title, I'm just going to give it the invitee name. Owner is obviously going to be me. However, sometimes what I like to do is I like to actually grab the event assigned to field from Calendly. And the reason I like to do that is when you have more than one person, then it works really well. In this case, if it's just myself, I'm just going to use myself. That makes sense. Person. I don't think we need to fill that out right yet. We're going to scroll down. All right, let's just give it a test. Okay, so neither an organization or person were provided. Let's go back and double check. So organization, let's just double check. It probably has to go to best business. Nothing. So let's do. So lead must be associated with at least one person or organization. So let's give it just M again, just to see what it looks like when we get it into Pipedrive. Okay, let's scrap this. We're not going to do lead. Okay, so let's go to deal first. Actually, let's do this properly. So we're going to work in sequence. We're going to go from person. So let's just add this girl in as a person first. Let's just see if we can grab an owner. So that would be me, organization. And this could be because I don't have an organization set up. So let's just double check that I don't need something like that hooked up in here. All right. So here's the email. We're going to grab her email or phone. Grab her phone. If you're going to grab that, let's see if we can get this working now. All right, so that works. So we now have a person in our, so let's go to contacts. There we go. So she's actually sitting inside of my CRM now. So now she's a person sitting inside here. So we got this working. We're going to hit close. We're going to go back to setup. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to Pipedrive and we're going to create another task. So the next thing we want to do is we want to obviously create them as a lead. So let's see if we can get this working now. It's just because I'm stubborn and it wasn't working before. So we're just going to call this the same thing it was called before, M. The person we want to grab is obviously M, right? But we want to grab the ID of the person because this is going to be dynamic. Every time they add a new person, we want to grab their ID, not their name. Otherwise, it's always going to be M. So we're going to go to ID here. Owner is obviously going to be me still. And then we're going to hit continue. And we're going to test this out. Let's just see if this works now. Perfect. So that worked. So we got a person. We come up to leads. We now have M in here as a lead. Perfect. Right. So we can actually open this up. What do we got in here? Notes, activity, emailing. We can get all this kind of stuff done. Right. So hypothetically speaking, you know, some people would want to put them into like this pipeline as a deal. So I can just show you how to do that quick as well. This would be a redundant step on the end of this, but let's just do it to show everyone how we can add them. So let's create a deal. So obviously the first step is always going to be creating a person, right? So you want to put that person inside of your CRM. And then the next step would either be creating them as a lead or creating them as a deal, right? Let's add them as a deal quick. We're going to call it the same thing I always call it, which is the first name. Status, right? We're going to be as open because we're obviously working on this. The stage is always normally, in my opinion, the most left side of the pipeline, which is be qualified. The owner, obviously, it's going to be me. I don't think we have to keep putting it there, but I'm just going to do it anyways. Let's leave the organization for now. So enter a creation date. So what we can do is we can grab a date from here. So it would be the event created at. Now there's also a little trick I know. It's called squiggly lines, zap _ meta _ human _ now and squiggly. And then that'll put the exact time in rather than having to, you know, go find this. But we'll just put the time from the Calendly here. So person, we're just going to also grab the number one, the person, the ID from the second step. Probability, expected close date, value. If you wanted to, you could put, like, say, for example, each person's worth $500 to you. We don't need to put anything else. So let's hit close or continue. And let's hit test. All right, successful. Let's go back up. Boom, we've got the lead in here. We can open it up. Looks like, we can hit a little bit more features, activities, proposed times. We can call them, email them, do whatever we want. So obviously there's a lot to do with, the setup of actually Pipedrive itself. However, this is how you would get a lead from Calendly into Pipedrive flawlessly. Now, the next step I wanted to show in here is, for example, imagine you're booking a specific event. Now, let's go take a look, for example. See how we have different event names? Look at this: Nurture to Profit, SaaS testing, Realtor, Michael's meeting room, virtual assistant, one-on-one coaching, all this meetings. Okay, maybe we want just Michael's meeting room. Okay, we're going to copy this. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a little filter up here in between this stage and this stage. And we're going to say, we only want people that match that event type to push through. Everything else, we don't really want them going in as a lead, right? That's super important. So we're going to say the event type name, right, contains, and then Michael's meeting room. Now you can go exactly matches as well and hit continue, and it should show green. Your SAP would have continued, right? Which is pretty cool. So if you go into the sample data, right, just, the event type says Michael's meeting room. Which is amazing. So we're gonna hit that done. Now, keep in mind that we wouldn't keep lead and deals. We'd have one or the other, but this is a 1, 2, 3, 4-step zap on how to get someone from Calendly that books an appointment, filter them by the event type, create them as a person in Pipedrive, and then add them as a lead or as a deal inside of Pipedrive. I hope that was very informative. If you guys have anything else, any questions, comments, concerns, any video ideas, integration ideas, just hit me down in the comments. Please give me a like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, and, please, 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 recommendations, because I love doing these videos. I like throwing together and helping people out. If you got anything advanced as well, I'm more than willing to help. Yeah, this is Automations for Beginners, Calendly to a CRM, Pipedrive, and you guys have a great day.